You're watching David Lieberhart on his own broadcast. Watch and enjoy. You're watching David Lieberhart on his own broadcast show. Watch and enjoy joy. It's the show about my life and what I go through and what I say and do. You're watching the David Lieberhart broadcast now. Okay?
Beautiful. We have a fan here. We have Jake. You want to say hi, Jake?
Hi, David. Nice to see you.
Hi, Jake. I want to ask more people to call in that have had UFO experiences.
I'm going to text all my friends and tell them to get on here because this is the place to be.
Oh, right on. I love you, fans. I'm glad you're there for me. Are you the guy that had the UFO experience? You want me to go first, or you want to go first about your experience?
Yeah, Jake.
Hello?
Do you have any alien or UFO experiences?
I don't have any firsthand experiences or anything like that. I did have a question for you, David. I mean, I was watching the NBA playoffs recently and getting ready for the Olympics, and I was wondering, are there any aliens that are competitive? Do they play sports? Do they compete against each other?
Sports. The Omegans from Star Caladan, they're carnivorous and they do sports. The Palladians do sports. The Corinthians do sports. The Venusians on Venus do sports. They live inside the planet because they destroyed their ozone layer, and so they live inside the planet. And George Adamski did a lot of work with them. He met the Palladians when he was traveling in the California desert, and he got a lot of back engineering technology from the Venusians.
Do they play the same sports as we do on Earth, or different?
They have sports. They play basketball, they play football, but they don't call it what we call it. They call it in their own language, whatever it is.
Did these sports, did they begin on alien planets, or did they?
I don't know. I have to. The aliens haven't contacted me in a long time. Laurent and Quetzalcoatl and Jezebel Ordias has not, and Elder Master Liptan have not contacted me. My best friend named Colonel Wendell Stevenson, we were going to do a UFO show together, but he passed on, and he's done a lot of UFO investigations. You look him up on the internet. We were going to do a show similar to the Murder, She Wrote about the UFO phenomenon, but he passed on. And he had raised money for doing it, but I guess he's from Flagstaff, Arizona. I don't know whatever happened after he passed on. He was and my second biggest contact was Linda Moulton Howe. She used to call me and talk to me about UFOs, and she used to be Miss Colorado, and she used to be a journalist for I think ABC or NBC, and she was doing about the cattle mutilations, and they asked her not to do it, and she lost her career as a journalist, and now she just does videos about the crop circles and the UFO phenomenon. She's a very brilliant lady. I look up to her and think a lot of her. And my other favorite UFO investigator is Stanton Freeman. He is he's a great guy from Canada. He's done a lot about the UFO phenomenon. Honey Marcel is my favorite Hispanic journalist. He knows a lot about the UFO phenomenon. He's got videos of the UFO phenomenon. He's put them up on the internet for people to see. There's a lot of UFO activity in Mexico and Mexico City. The Cucachapas who've escaped from the spaceships are sucking the blood out of cows and people. They call it the Cucachapas, and they're a type of animal that's from, I don't know what extraterrestrial race they're from, but Bigfoot that's seen in Canada, Michigan, and the forest preserves in the Rocky Mountains. They originally were pets from the extraterrestrials. In fact, the Palladians left their pets called the penguins and the polar bears. They had polar bears like we have dogs and cats, and and penguins, and they have them trained. And they got loose when a lot of their spaceships crashed, or they wandered out of the spaceships when they were. And so a lot of plants come from other planets, from the shooting stars. A lot of vegetation and different seeds have come from our planet, from the shooting stars, from other planets. And then they have the sun people too. They have the sun people. There's a race of humanoids that live on the sun, and their blood is like gasoline, and everything they walk or touch burns. And they're like 12 feet or 8 feet. They're called, like the Bible calls the huge aliens, the giants. They all, another name for the extraterrestrials are angels or the watchers. So, you have any other questions you want to ask me?
Yeah, I have. I mean, if I have tons. So one thing, I know you mentioned that aliens haven't come to visit you in quite some time. It's been a few years. And I have a theory personally on that myself, that is it possible that maybe they've given up on Earth itself? Things have been pretty bleak here over the last few years.
Well, they have been, they moved Area 51 to Northern Australia, and that's where it's been moved to because too many people were trying to investigate about it from Nevada, and that's where they do a lot of stuff now, and into some parts of Arizona as well. But I was speaking to a guy from AT&T, and I told him he was I couldn't get my phone got. I ordered from Apple a replacement phone because my phone redials numbers without my permission. If I hit a 5, it'll hit a 10. It's crazy. It's got a mind of its own.
David talks about technical difficulties with his phone service for a long time.
To replace this phone that's not working, my Apple 8.
Hey, David, I don't know how we got from aliens to your phone again somehow, but I think what Jake was trying to ask was he has a theory that possibly aliens have given up on the future of humanity. Like maybe we fucked this planet up so bad.
Well, I don't think all the aliens have given up on us. I think many of them have, because the Venusians and the Palladians have told the government that they're misusing the technology. They instead of them using they're using gas and diesel fuel, and instead of using anti-gravity, and that's messing up the earth. They spayed animals, which I feel is wrong. It's killed off so many species. I had my relatives from near Canada, from Wisconsin, had farms, and they'd always spayed their horses and their cows and their sheep, and it killed off so many species of animals. They should not make animals priests and nuns. They should let nature take its place and have its balance. Also, I don't like it that the government has put all kinds of poison inside the lakes and ponds, which in Texas and in Illinois, and it killed a lot of the ducks, and the animals drink the chlorine, and it kills all the vegetation out. It kills the anacris out. It kills the water lilies out, and the cattail grass, and the plants need that. Just like we need vegetables to eat, we the fish and the birds and the animals that feed from the lakes need that vegetation that puts oxygen in the water. And man is trying to play God too much, and the extraterrestrials don't like that. They should,
Jake, where are you calling in from, by the way?
So I'm in Ottawa, Ontario, up in Canada.
Oh, you're from Canada. My family, my wife's side of the family that were French and German, Canadian, French, and Norwegian and Swedish helped free slaves to the Underground Railroad up to Canada. And they were Quakers, and they were Mennonites on my dad's side of the family. Also, on my Caucasian side, I'm related to President Grant. And President Grant used a lot of Canadian um, army officers and military to win the Civil War. But something I noticed is really weird happening in Canada, and I want you to explain it. The mega churches have taken over Canada.
Yeah.
What's up with that?
Yeah, between the Catholic Church and the mega church.
And they're all from the South.
I don't know what's going on. I can't explain it.
And well, I'm going to let you know, a lot of these Southern rednecks are from the South, and they don't like people of color. They don't like liberal whites.
I know, and that's why we want to keep that stuff out of Canada. Exactly.
Well, it's poisoned Canada. I mean, I'll tell you what happened. My music got published to CCLI, Christian Copyright Licensing International, my religious song, because Christian Science Church, Fenella Burnett, that was putting the Christian Science hymnal together.
David talks about his gospel music, church stuff, and Canadian history for a long time.
So I wanted to tell him, I had a Sunday school teacher from Canada, and he did a puppet show called The Friendly Giant with Jerome Giraffe and Rusty the Chicken. And every time I went to family reunions in Canada, he was teaching the Sunday school with Jerome Giraffe and Rusty the Chicken. And he was a famous puppeteer, and he had really tiny furniture. Have you heard of him before?
Yeah, he had a very popular children's show with the same name on it's like a public access show channel called TVO here in Canada. And I think in the 80s and 90s, he had a long-running show, I believe.
Well, he was very nice to me. He was the best. I also had Jim Henson back in the States as a Sunday school teacher when I went to, we'd go to family reunions in Washington, D.C.
David talks about his gospel music, church stuff, and Canadian history for a long time.
Close to me. Okay. Is there anybody have any questions they want to answer me? Hello?
Jake says he has plenty of questions.
I have lots of questions. Just this is a bit of a different topic here, but I'm an individual who's constantly plagued by clowns, and I know that you've talked about this, and I was wondering if you've had any run-ins with any clowns, maybe Monty Melvin.
Well, Monty Melvin was a bright, wonderful clown. He was very liberal, and when Bozo got sick, he replaced Bozo, and because he had a liberal, he was Jewish, Dick Lovett, because he integrated the Bozo show with ethnic kids.
David talks about clowns for a long time.
All his pictures down. They made it act like he never existed, which was very cold and very mean. Also, another thing I want to say is the Canadian National and the Union Pacific, which used to be the Northwestern, they did the same thing. They destroyed all the electric interurbans in Canada, like they did in the United States. We only have one left. Called the Chicago South.
David talks about trains and Canadian celebrities of the past for a long time.
You don't hear from her anymore. She's originally from Canada, and she is one of my favorite folk singers. Also, you know who called me from Canada when I was touring there? Paul Simon, who and he said that he was like my songs that I wrote, and so there's that guy that used to work with him that they don't get along anymore.
Art Garfunkel.
Art Garfunkel. They said they liked my style of music and my diversity, and going from country western to rock and roll and to R&B and to religious music. They called me one time, and I heard that one of them are from Canada.
Hey David, we gotta wrap things up soon, but we got a question from Jerry. He asks if you think there are currently aliens living on planet Earth, and if so,
aliens are living in planet Earth. They're living under Lake Superior. They're aliens living called the Palladians that live under Mount Helen and Mount Revere. They have underground bases there. The Corindians have underground bases in San Diego. If you go to the website TerraCore, you can look up about the Omegans and the Corindians, the Emerald Green Colonel Wendell Stevenson and Elder Master Latan have 2 books that you have to pay for that are online. But Colonel Wendell Stevenson has passed. So
David talks about UFO researchers for a long time.
And I've got what's his name? God forbid.
Hey, hey David, why don't we end the show with a song about Canada?
Okay. Canada, you're a great country, Canada. And North America, Canada. You have liberation, Canada. Canada, you helped free the slaves through the Underground Railroad, Canada. Oh, Canada, stay liberal, don't go conservative. Oh, Canada, you have a good style about you. Oh, Canada, you used to have the best interurbans too. Oh, Canada, you have beautiful mountains too. You share the Rocky Mountains with us. I love Canada. I am so grateful for Canada people. They have a sweet, real spirit that's liberal. Don't become conservative and racist. Love all people from all places. Canada, I love you, Canada. I am part French Canadian from roots in Canada. Oh, Canada, I love you, Canada. I love what you did with President Grant in freeing the slaves through the Underground Railroad. Canada, we love you. I just made it up.
Beautiful.
Wow. That was great. Thank you, David. Canada thanks you.
Okay. All right. Okay.
All right. Thanks everyone for joining us.
Well, why don't we do a part 2 about the UFOs next month?
Yeah, we should do this again. It was fun.
Okay, let's do part 2 next month. You want to call me back and help me with my PayPal account with Wells Fargo? I appreciate it, to see if the money went in.
All right.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye. Salome.
Salome. Adios. Going to the light till next we meet. Love you all. Thanks for watching the David Lieberhart Show.
Hey everybody, thanks for listening. We haven't been doing these very often. We do a monthly video podcast now at patreon.com/adventureswithdavid. You gotta pay $3 a month to get that and all our past episodes. You can also go to patreon.com/David Lieberhart. That's his personal Patreon, where you can order drawings, custom songs, poems, and you can also just donate to fund the living expenses of the world's most unique artist, David Lieberhart. And of course, you can find all of David's merchandise, tour dates, and more at artbylieberhart.com.